talking about this gravel situation. This is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And actually involved Brock Zierfoss last night, this incident that occurred. If you haven't seen it, this is actually our little clip that we put on Facebook, quick little hitter when it actually went down. It's a little loud on the audio, but not too bad. Let's see here. This is right before the replay right here. So you had this incident happen on the track. He did say he cleared him. He did say he cleared him.
They don't feel like he cleared him. Maybe
so Gravel's over here at the car, a little upset, obviously. Gravel versus Kofoid. You see this slider? I mean, it did clear him, guys. But obviously, there's way more to this. There's way more to the situation. And Gravel was pissed off. Gravel was upset about this. Now, this is big. Like I said in the show, this is a very big deal. I think that's the one thing that's going to hold Gravel back is I was more so saying, and there's Brock Zierfoss, unfortunately. I was having a good run. But we see that, situation there where Gravel is walking down the track because he's the favorite. I mean, most people in their mind right now, there's no way to pick anyone but David Gravel to win this championship. But I think it's instances like this that is potentially going to play a factor. Now, let's take a few looks at the laps here because there was a lot of things that happened. Hold on. Let's see if we can make that work a little bit different. Because there is something very interesting here that Kofoid in the post race, for instance. We'll go ahead and listen to that also. He did have to respond, and this is how he felt about the situation.
Yeah, we started 6th and got to 5th at the flag stand, and then they split, and I just threw a big diamond and got Carson and David down the backstretch, and then had a good run on Bill and slid Bill, and then I don't know what else happened after that. I don't have a rearview mirror, so not really sure why David was mad. He tried to run me over 4 different times and eventually did, and it's probably why he gave himself a flat right rear on that yellow. So apologize for last week, but I'm not going to apologize for that for him. I didn't run over Bill, and I'm not the one who kept trying to run me over. So just trying to move on and just keep racing. And other than that, I mean, I can't thank Dennis and Teresa Roth enough for the opportunity to drive this iconic, beautiful race car, and Mobil 1 and Toyota for continuing to back us and make it possible. Like I always say, Dylan, Nate, and Gage, they work so hard. And
now he's talking about there how he's not sorry about the situation on the track because of multiple things. Funny, this replay is not wanting to be nice. But you look at what he's talking about where Gravel was trying to get after him here. Now, this is earlier in the race. This is lap 7. Him and Gravel were going at it. You see Kofoid throwing a slider here. Now, to some people, you don't really see an issue right here. But to those driving the cars, that's a swipe. This was a swipe. This was lap 7. This is what Kofoid's talking about, how he's coming after me and stuff like that. Now, see, I was actually very skeptical. We saw a lot of instances off of turn 2 have a problem last night. You saw the Macedo Hottenchild incident that occurred. Macedo was very upset about that, it looked like. But the back straightaway here, and I'm always thinking of track management and safety concern, there's not really a fence back there, I don't see. And we saw some guys in the B-main climb the wall. And if you go over right there, you're in a very predicament situation. Now, I know fans in the stands don't think of stuff like that, but me, I've been in the car. You halfway think about that stuff when you're out there rolling around like, all right, where can things go really wrong? I don't want to mess it up right here. But this is a situation where, you see the nose had to dip on Kofoid, and that's because that right rear's coming up. Gravel's letting it be known. This is obviously, who knows if this is, I would assume that this is, retribution from the week before, but they're right here throwing tight sliders back and forth. And Gravel, I'm assuming, is not a fan of the 83 at this point of the race. And you see that I'm coming up the track and you're there. You know, and Kofoid had to really maneuver that car to not get put up over the wall. Who knows what would have happened right there if Kofoid just holds his car straight. And Kofoid let him know the displeasure. So at lap 8, we already got an issue between these two cars. Now, the racing last night was just unbelievable. How about Bill Baylog? Bill Baylog is setting the world on fire right now in the World of Outlaws. I don't know if that's credit to High Limit because he didn't do much on the All-Star Tour, and he's doing so much on the Outlaws. But we had a hell of a race earlier. Now, everyone's trying to get upset. There was 5 cars in the line here basically together. Hardenschild's right in front of them, a couple cars. But they're talking about how Kofoid threw a slider on 2 cars at once. Now, you see right here, Macedo did 2 cars at once right there. So we have an example on how it's somewhat clean or able to throw a slider on 2 cars at once without a significant run, really. I mean, Macedo had something on him, but he really just dove a little lower into the corner. And obviously it looks a little cleaner, but you see Gravel pushing the issue. I mean, that's pretty daring of a move. And right there in front of Macedo. And you see Kofoid's coming. Now, this was before the caution. You saw Kofoid was getting this huge run. You look at Kofoid in the background here. He was closing. He was right there getting ready to get in the mix there. I mean, we were about to have one hell of a race. How about it? We get to another track besides the typical schedule round, and you put on a hell of a race like we had last night. Now, the instance that everybody's talking about, and this is actually it, so we need to get a little background. So at this point, Kofoid's in the background, getting a run very similar to what we just saw before it went caution. Now, Kofoid's coming off the track, or off the top of the track in 1 and 2 right now in this instance. You have Gravel and Macedo just crossing each other up, so they're losing all kinds of momentum here. Oh, once again, all kinds of momentum here. And you see Kofoid got the run. He's got Gravel, but he does go for a little more. Very tight slider. And Gravel just, I mean, could Gravel had lifted maybe right here, got out of it like, oh, stuff's about to get hectic. But is there an out right here for Gravel? That's what I'm focusing on, because obviously the run, Kofoid's got Gravel. There's no question on throwing the slider on Gravel. The question is continuing that slider and throwing it onto Baylog. And when you look at it, you look at the slider onto Baylog. It does clear Baylog, as Kofoid said, no contact. Baylog did have to get on the binders. And if Gravel's so concerned, in defense of Kofoid here, if Gravel is so concerned that Kofoid is this crazy, or could potentially wreck him, or any of these things, and is, you know, getting close with this right rear off of turn 2, a little anger, I guess you could say, between the two, wouldn't you maybe like sit back a little bit, see how that plays out? But Gravel goes right in there, and you got to be aggressive. I mean, this isn't really no blame to Gravel. It's just a lot of people are saying just a racing incident. And I think some of those people saying that have a case to be made, because we saw hyper-aggressive moves like this entire race. Was that a little bit too close of a slider, potentially? Did Baylog do anything wrong, really? No. I mean, there was no contact. He went wherever he could. Unfortunately for Gravel, he was there. And maybe Gravel could have, you know, let that play out in front of him, gave it a car length or two, especially, once again, if he thinks Kofoid's driving over his head just a little bit too much. But that's not what happened. That's what happened. And Kofoid got the blame for that. So it's an interesting situation. And obviously, he goes over to the car. They don't show that in this instant replay. But does Kofoid have something to... Well, they show him running. I wonder if they show him up in the cockpit. I don't think they do. But I think they are, you know, Gibson's on there talking about how mad he is or something. Oh, actually, they do. So Gravel goes over here and is a little mad and upset. I mean, Kofoid's trying to tell him that he got the run. Obviously, this isn't the incident. This isn't what Gravel's upset about. I don't think that Gravel is upset at this slider being cleared and him getting caught up into it. I think Gravel's upset that, you know, here comes this freaking flying car out of nowhere, throwing a slider on me, and then ultra aggressively throwing a slider on the car in front of him, bunching up that car, and that car collects into me. I think that's what Gravel is upset about. But at the same time, we did see hyper-aggressive moves like that all night long. You could kind of say the incident in the dash between Hodenschild and Macedo was very similar. Very similar to what we just saw here. It was just in the A-main. Regardless, Hodenschild goes on to win. He picks it up. Balog goes second. How about that? I mean, Balog's really shocking a lot of people here. It was a Hodenschild track right up on the cush. Kofoid in third. And then Cole Macedo, surprisingly, coming home in fourth, beating Carson, who ends up in fifth. Now, the fan reaction to this was very interesting. I put on the Facebook, Gravel versus Kofoid is on. And I think it is. I think this rivalry is something that the World Outlaws need, honestly. It's perfect timing. I mean, I said it at the beginning of the year when everybody was picking Gravel. Some reason, when everybody says this is going to happen, something happens to where that doesn't happen. And, you know, for Gravel, I feel bad about that. For Kofoid, or for Cody, I feel bad about that. For everybody else, I don't at all. But for David Gravel and Cody, I feel, you know, a lot of sympathy for that scenario and all the crew members of that organization. But besides that, I'm kind of smirking. But at the end of the day, this is on, and this is perfect. And it's funny enough, TRD is involved here. Obviously, TRD, it's a Toyota that Kofoid has, and, you know, it's very interesting. Some people are kind of question marking, you know, is Kofoid driving in over his head here? There is people that said Kofoid didn't cause that. Balog got into Gravel. Kofoid got around both of them on the outside. Not sure why. Crybaby Gravel felt the need to go get in Kofoid's face. Both are wussies anyway. That one was like the most. Charlie Baker says, another bad slide job. You can't slide a car unless they have room to navigate. He left Balog nowhere to go. If that was the case, it would be nothing but a wreck fest. He got Gravel last week also. So people are on the two sides of this. Somebody said that was the most midget racer mindset interview I've ever watched. Now, that's very true. Midget racer mindset's kind of like very calm, very polite, but very snark and quick and savvy. Little bitty shots. I did say this is true. A lot of people were saying, I noticed, you know, this is a midget move. This is midget racing style racing in sprint cars. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but, I mean, it would be highly acceptable to race like that or to have wrecks like that in midget racing. Gravel might change his mind once he sees the replay. I don't think so. Somebody said Kofoid for the win. Somebody said Buddy is feeling the pressure, racing, pulling desperate moves. Buddy threw a big bomb for sure, no denying it. Balog turned down to cross, and Gravel was there. To me, it was a hard racing deal, and Gravel really has no one to be mad at. Buddy cleared by inches, and Balog turned down to cross. And don't we love that in sprint car racing? These really close, you know, dirty sliders is when you put a right rear on somebody. Like if I was Gravel and then the day, I don't know, back to 2019, I was joking with Kyle. I was getting with other local racers, and I was like, Kyle, we're coming for your ass this week. And I had a silver marker, and I wrote Kyle Larson on a couple drivers' right rear tires, and says I told him we got a right rear with your name on it. You know, I had some people call me from the Gravel camp saying we need to unload two cars. Well, not the Gravel camp. Let me rephrase. Some big Gravel supporters called me and said we need to unload two cars at Hobstadt and Knoxville and be ready each week to junk one of them to take that sumbitch out. Some people were fans, I'll say fans of David Gravel, no one within the industry. They suggest that that's what their suggestion is that David Gravel should have two cars race ready until they pay this son of a bitch back. They're upset about it. They're really upset about it. So it's a very interesting situation here. We do like these close quarters racing actions or racing action. And we've always considered a dirty slider is when you put the right rear into someone's left front, right? That was a dirty slider. We see those happen in midget racing all the time. A clean slider like the biggest, closest, fuck you, cleanest slider you can do with respect is when your rear bumper tail clears that nose. And in sprint car racing, it's always been kind of the understanding that if that rear bumper clears that nose, it's on the guy behind you's fault if something happens. That's how aggressive sprint car racing is. It don't matter if it's as close as we just saw Kofoid get with Baylog. That is supposed to be clean. Dirty's when you hit the nose wing. Dirty's when you hit the left front, send the guy flipping into the damn fence. That's dirty. Dirty is Monteith and Dietrich a couple years ago at Lincoln. That's dirty. If you clear them, though, that's supposed to be considered, no matter how close or how much they got to jump on the brake, that's supposed to be considered a clean pass. An aggressive, yes, a fuck you, yeah, guys have to step on the, supposed to be considered clean if you clear them. And Buddy Kofoid did do that. So, I don't know if they're writing right rears on somebody and putting them on the left fronts, but Buddy Kofoid did not do that this week. Last week at I-55, Kofoid did do that. I think that's why he apologized and was upset for how that went down. This week, I think he's not apologizing because I think he, like he said, cleared him. And, Gravel came over and voiced displeasure in the way he did. Jeremy Brim says Gravel is a crybaby. Jason Weiss says, Buddy is driving over his head with his talent and the Roth equipment. There is no need to drive that way, period. Sprint cars are 900 horsepower death traps. He is going to end up hurting someone. Interesting. Now, what I would say about Kofoid, and I don't think people are catching on to this. They're kind of shocked that Buddy Kofoid's up here racing with Gravel a little bit, it seems like, and mixing it up. Third consecutive podium, by the way. It's funny enough, TRD, are people forgetting that Buddy Kofoid basically, in my opinion, won the Houston High Banks Nationals last year without TRD letting him down, without that motor going away. He's $250,000. He gave it to David Gravel last year. So if we want to go back to history, that first of all, David Gravel owes Buddy Kofoid $250,000 for that Houston High Banks Nationals victory that he claimed that Buddy Kofoid was in the lead and dominating and the motor expired and gave it to Gravel. So he's already given him $250,000, so maybe there's some hindrance there. I'm not sure. But when we speak of TRD, and maybe they'll be upset about me saying this, but are we all forgetting that Buddy Kofoid was the next Larson before this Corey Day deal? Corey Day's more attractive. This is why they're going to move him up. This is why Kyle Larson's endorsing Corey Day, just like Jeff Gordon endorsed Kyle Larson. Does nobody remember that? When Gordon was leaving and getting older in NASCAR, he endorsed Kyle, and Kyle came up and took his spot, kept the dream alive, the dirt to NASCAR dream. I think that's happening right now with Corey Day. Not sure. That's what I think. But there's a lot of casualties in between those errors. There's a lot of casualties. There's a lot of Tanner Thorsons and Spencer Bastons and Logan Seavies and guys who did exactly what those guys did to the best of their ability and didn't get that call up to the next level, usually due to financial backing. And Michael Buddy Kofoid's a guy who was in a sprint car at 12, winning at 14, doing it all. Look what he did in the USAC midget. Did the deal, but the TRD money runs out, and if you ain't bringing your old bake to the baking account to put it into someone else's team to rent some rides, you ain't going nowhere. So Buddy Kofoid is a Kyle Larson in dirt racing right now, in the world of outlaws. We should be celebrating this, guys. We should be celebrating this way more than if Corey Day goes to do a Hendrick truck ride. We should be celebrating Buddy Kofoid and supporting him in staying with dirt or coming back to dirt or however that went, or not having the money to go to NASCAR. This is the example of a superstar, talented driver that just didn't have that bankroll to go to the next level. So is David Gravel. I mean, look at what David Gravel did in a truck ride in NASCAR in the COVID year. 0 practice, I believe, ran 10th or something like that. Qualified 14th, just jumped in the car and went. There's a lot of those guys. A Gravel and a Kofoid are superstars just like Larson, just not in that Larson privileged position of opportunities. Now, this is just facts. But Kofoid's the newest kid on the block. And he also is a rookie. We're also talking about a rookie and a rookie wrecking a points leader. Bill Baylog is still a rookie. These are Rookie of the Year contenders, dicing it up right there in front of Gravel. Like I said, you could maybe say, well, Gravel, you should have backed it off. You're looking at two rookies go at it. Or maybe let's see how this plays out. But Buddy Kofoid is a top-level driver. Buddy Kofoid is a top-of-the-line talent. He's going to be up here every single damn week. Now, yeah, he's skinny. Yeah, he may not be as pretty as Corey Day, but he's going to be up there. And if there was a guy I think that maybe David Gravel thinks he could scuffle up with and maybe take one-on-one in a fisticuffs, it might be Buddy Kofoid. So this could be interesting as well, but I'm just kidding there. I'm just kidding, kind of. But Buddy Kofoid's going to be here. This is a talent that is just as capable of winning everything, just as much as Corey Day, just as much as a Larson, as a Abreu, as any of these guys. He proved it to y'all. I mean, last year, jumps in a sprint car, a couple races in, he's winning $250K at Houston's without the motor blowing up. So TRD lit him down there. In my opinion, TRD lit him down on this dream of going to NASCAR like they've done a bunch of these boys out there and girls. Oh, there's some girls out there about to get the fisticuffs too, unless some bankroll comes in. Oh, there's some people mortgaged their houses because we thought going and doing midgets was going to get it somewhere. Okay, you about to find out. You bringing Monster? You bringing anybody with you? You got any bankroll to come and support you to get to that next? Oh, they about to go find something else. Luckily, they did support Buddy enough to put the sprint car thing together, in my opinion. I think Buddy, the talent was going to end up somewhere. Luckily, it's wing sprint cars. It's really unfortunate, in my opinion. Logan Seavey stuck in the non-wing world. I think that's another guy who could come right up into the World of Outlaws and start being a championship contender. If you got a full-time World of Outlaw operation you're trying to start in 2025, I'm looking at Logan Seavey as the number one pick out there who's not full-time wing racing right now. That's just me. But y'all need to really recognize who Buddy Kofoid is. This guy ain't going away. This guy's going to be up front every single damn week. This is a Larson. This is a Bell. This is a Corey. This is a guy. And he's there. And for him to tussle it up for the TRD boy to tussle it up with the exclusivity Morrison Chevy, we have a manufacturer battle already in the making. While Donnie Schatz is just sitting back there waiting for everything to go awry. By the way, we did talk about the point situation because once again, I did point it out on the show last week that this is going to be a scenario with David Gravel, where it just looks so damn obvious, it's never gonna be that way, guys. Anytime you think it's 100% Hillary's gonna win, Trump, no chance. Better think twice, buddy. Anytime you think it's just RFK can't win as a third party, you sure? You sure? Just saying, guys. Anytime it looks too damn obvious, either for or against, never works out that way. And David Gravel, we documented last week, after I-55, he had 48 points on Giovanni Scelzi, which is a lot. I believe it was Giovanni Scelzi. 48 points on Scelzi. No, 48 points on Schatz, 72 points on Scelzi. This is the updated standings now, guys. It's down to 16. It's down to 16 points in the World of Outlaw standings after last night's event that happened on the racetrack. Now, if you want an example of how nights like that, when you're ending on the trailer, can affect your season no matter how much you're winning, look at who's in 7th right now, guys. Who is in 7th in this point standing? Sheldon damn Hodenschald. How many wins does Sheldon got? 3. 3 wins. Same as David Gravel, tied for series overall win and victory total. He's 142 back, but the consistency is different. You know, some nights ending on the trailer, the US 36, I think it was, where Sheldon got collected, this, that, and the other. He's only got 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s. So those 5 top 5s, 3 of those were wins. So only 2 other times outside of the times he's won has he been in the top 5. So it's hit and miss. Whereas David Gravel, 14 starts, 11 top 5s after last night. Last night, it was 13 starts, 11 top 5s. We talked about that in the show last week. But now it's all close. We were talking about last week, Donnie Schatz and Giovanni Scelzi being 48 and 72 points back. 3rd and 4th and 5th were 150-ish something points back. It was way more than you could even make up. And now you got Logan Schuchart closer. You got Logan Schuchart and Carson Macedo closer to David Gravel than Giovanni Scelzi was last week. And now you even have Michael Buddy Kofoid within that 100-point range. And Sheldon. Sheldon's 142 back. I believe that's what Logan Schuhart or Macedo was last week. It was an extreme amount these guys were separated by. Have to go look at it. Maybe we could back it up. Can we back it up a week? Nope, doesn't look like it. But regardless, this whole championship battle just changed last night. And that's how quick it can change. Like I said, you can win. You can perform well. Sheldon with 3 wins. Out of this whole group right now, he's at the back. Which this group is separating itself from everyone else right now. So technically, your championship battle is still between 7 cars right now. It wasn't. Last night, until what happened, it wasn't. It looked like David Gravel was gone and away. But after last night, one bad night, you know, they talked about Brad Sweet's consistency in the years prior. One bad night, and now you got a legitimate 4 guys within striking distance. You got 2 guys ready to take the lead over if something goes wrong again. But you got four guys with under 100 points. You got Kofoid and Hodgshaw right there. So really, you got 7 guys for the championship, six guys within striking distance. I would say 4 within immediate, and 2, you may lose the points lead. And now to add to this scenario that you have here, you also have this Kofoid versus Gravel deal to deal with if you're David Gravel. Now, like some of the supporters said, David Gravel needs to roll out 2 cars and have one ready to wreck Kofoid and one ready to get into after he's done the job. If you're racing for a championship, can you do that? Can you suffer another scenario where you may not finish? Or maybe your wreck looks so intentional that the World of Outlaws organization has to submit a penalty, potentially in points. They stirred up the late model world this year with penalties and points structures and reneged and this and that and the other. But if you go out there and you put it on Kofoid's ass, stupidly blatant, what will the administration have to do? You know, well, we could this say next week or tonight, we are at Tri-State, Hobstadt. You could throw a slider on somebody from a half track back. I mean, and not really hurt them. They're going pretty slow. Hopefully you don't say payback for Knoxville where we're going too damn fast, especially after the Macedo wreck last year. But say there's a wreck that's in the A main between Gravel and Kofoid that straight up looks like Gravel just destroyed Kofoid. If you're part of the administration, or you're generalizing that race, stewarding that race, as the Australians would say, don't you have to throw the black flag on Gravel? I mean, last night's Kofoid wreck kind of iffy. You know, I-55, oh, he made a mistake. But you got a driver in the cockpit, mad, yelling at somebody, and the next night, say tonight, A-main, Gravel goes in there and just straight up puts him in the damn wall and flips him. That's beyond probable cause, guys. That's intent. And in racing, if you wreck somebody intentionally, you're supposed to be penalized for it. So if you're David Gravel, do you even have time to mess around when you're looking at Donnie Schatz and Giovanni Scelzi closing in on your ass, and Donnie's looking strong, and then you got Schuhart and Macedo right there now within striking distance, and even Kofoid himself creeping into the sub 100 points behind. Now, 100 points is a lot. When I said 48-72 between Schatz and Gio last week, that was like, damn, you could make a couple mistakes. But you make one. Luckily, Schatz and Gio didn't run top 5 last night, or this may have switched up. But you make one. Schuhart, Macedo involved now. Schatz and Scelzi involved now. This is a very big turn of events. Very big turn of events. But like I said, tonight, sorry, once again, we're a little under the weather. It is 4:20 in the United States. The green is being lit across the country, which, I mean, should be perfectly fine. The green trees are burning, and is anybody going to do something stupid tonight at Hobstadt? This is one of the most anticipated races in the World Outlaw Sprint Car Series schedule. This is a race track. These are more, I think the Outlaws need to venture to more racetracks like this, like High Limit is doing. The short tracks, the action, that's where fans like to see it go, I think. But you have this race, Hauptstadt tonight. It's 7 hours 50. Look, it's a countdown. Nice job, World Outlaws. It's a countdown. The Hobbstown Showdown. World of Outlaws at the Tri-State Speedway, Hauptstadt, Indiana. This is going to be an amazing event. $12,000 to win. Grandstand gates open at 5. Let's see, do we got anything on Dirt Vision? That's where I'll be watching it. Knoxville rained out. That's where I was planning to go, but we're not going to be going there. Will we see revenge tonight? Because it is very easy to get close to someone at Tri-State. This is one of the most close quarters racing facilities in the country. For those who are used to Riverside Speedway, this is Riverside Speedway, basically, with less banking, actually. But you can throw a slide job from almost a half track back and catch the guy in front of you. So if David Gravel is going to rough Kofoid up just a little bit and not hurt him, because we're about to get into some big tracks with the Outlaws at some high speeds. Even though last night was a high-speed scenario, and I-55 definitely was too. This is one of those tracks, though, you're going to be able to get close to Kofoid. It don't matter if you're 4 cars back. You can still get to him. You could throw some 2-car sliders. You could show him how to get it done. So, the race tonight at Tri-State added a whole new level. A whole new level of close quarters racing action. Whole new level. Before we get out of here, going to highlight some other things happening tonight. Obviously, Callum Williamson debuting tonight. At Lincoln Speedway, $20,000 to win Weldon Sterner Memorial at Lincoln. This is going to be on Flow. You also have High Limit at Salina High Banks. That'll be a pretty good, interesting race. It's a very fast track. But you got Callum Williamson debuting in the Trone Outdoor Machine at Lincoln tonight. That'll be interesting. And then once again, that's a $20,000 to win. 410 sprint cars, 358 sprint cars, $20,000 to win. Weldon Sterner Memorial event. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. I'm sure it'll take a few laps for Callum to get adapted. But hey, Lincoln's going to be one of those tracks where I think he's going to adapt relatively quickly. But for those who have been keeping up with that track and keeping up with some Australian drivers, obviously here with Callum Williamson, this is the guy from Perth who put it on Brad Sweet and Rico Abreu's ass. He's debuting tonight for $20,000 to win at the short action-packed Lincoln Speedway on Flow Racing. You can check that out. Looks like time trials at 6 p.m. Eastern. Of course, the Outlaw race is a Central Time race, so you may be able to get both A-mains, both heat races in due to that time change here tonight. Let's see the chat. Is there anything interesting in the chat, or are y'all just... Oh, are we doing call-ins? Should we do call-ins? I don't know if we should. Let's see what this chat's looking like. Let's see here. Oh, my. For his agent, I would say grittier. Kofoid has nothing to lose. Earnhardt Jaworski says that. Just makes me wonder with Donnie, his qualifying the way he does in starting 10 to 15 in features, how long can he continue to either have to pass 7 to 8 cars or keep getting lucky with wrecks? It's a very good statement, but hold on. But Gravel or Schatz has been moving forward. He hasn't been going back traditionally, or like we've been seeing traditionally. Kofoid's mentality is way grittier than Gravel. Huh? That's interesting. I guess it was Earnhardt Jaworski here having a back and forth conversation about the mentality. Somebody says I have the Australian flu. That is not the case. Gravel has struggled at Hauptstadt in past years, should just focus on himself and let karma come around. I mean, if you're going for a championship, that's unfortunately, because I want to see the rivalry continue. But I would say, if you're Gravel, you do have to try to not, mix yourself up with this too much. This Earnhardt guy's got a lot of interesting comments. Hod had 2 DNS of Volusia, yes. The Chaz, I got my World Outlaw stats updated if you want to take a peek at. Really helps with the breakdown. I'm sorry, I just always had to do it myself. Do you think Donnie has a real shot? Donnie has been going forward all year. No matter how ugly this freaking car is, the car is going forward. It is going forward, but the car is still hideous as hell. I want to yank that long ass hair out of the Chaz goatee. Who? Oh, right here? Is this what? Oh, sorry. There we go. There we go. It's in line. It did look cool. Somebody just said correct. Danny, I don't think Donnie was talking about Kofoid. I believe was talking about Logan McCandles. Okay. Chaz, not the prettiest YouTuber. I hope not. I mean, why would I be? Somebody said, Chaz, welcome back. Sammy and Steve did it for a living, and it was a blessing to witness. Luke says, fuck Gravel. What a sook he is. Thinks he's a class above everyone else. All class from Buddy, though, and Sode Racing. Glad he didn't apologize. Maybe Buddy could be living in Gravel's head rent-free. Wow. Luke with the daggers. Oh, my God. Luke with the dagger saying that Gravel acts like he's a class above everyone else. And he said, all class from Buddy, though. Sold Racing. Glad he didn't apologize. Wow, Luke with some daggers on Gravel there. Just hard racing and Gravel ended up on the bad end of it. It happens. This is true. Paul Clayton says, fans were pretty clear on the backstretch. That's where I was. Think Buddy is just mad that Toyota blew up at Houston Speedway and he lost $250K. Dirtworks Photography said that. Let's see, we got any new comments? The comments rolling in. Oh, we got some new stats here. Just makes me wonder. Okay, sorry. Donnie has passed the most cars this year at 63, 56 in the feature. See, that's what I was saying. He has been moving forward no matter what. And yeah, I understand you got to qualify, but would you rather be Donnie Schatz or Landon Crawley right now? Obviously, that's probably the two extreme examples, I guess. Are we having a yin for a yang with examples here as far as qualifying and racing? Because Landon Crawley's qualified amazingly, but raced subpar, whereas Donnie Schatz is qualified subpar, but raced amazingly and won. I would rather be Donnie in this perspective. We'll figure out qualifying as we keep going. They have been to a little bit different of tracks, not necessarily Donnie's wheelhouse of tracks for qualifying especially. He's more of a big track guy, I feel like, personally, even though he won at I-55, and he even said that wasn't his style. I think possibly what's happening with Donnie in qualifying is when the car is out there on the track by itself, it's so hideously ugly that God won't let it go fast and takes a couple tenths off of it, no matter how much our personal eyes visually see that car go around the track, no matter what the time clock says. The car is just so hideous and disrespectful to Donnie Schatz's career that it takes it down a couple tenths. God slows time, and that's what happens in qualifying, in my opinion. Donnie thing, something he hasn't been able to do. Right. Donnie being 16 out in points makes me think he could smell it for the first time in 5 years. Yes, that's very true. And then Earnhardt says Crawley is negative 61 in passing cars. So he's been passed by 61 cars. If you think about it, the issues Buddy has had with blowing TRD motors, you know he has a head of steam to dump somewhere. Well, and you also know with all the defects with the Toyota motors, you have to assume that they're finding these issues because TRD takes this shit very seriously. You have to assume that they're blowing motors, but every time they blow a motor, that next motor that's coming out or that next adjustment on this or that is making it to where that motor is better, more reliable. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, guys. What's a better production vehicle to buy right now? Would you rather buy a Chevy or a Toyota? Just a car, a sedan vehicle. Would you rather buy it, a Chevy or a Toyota? Which one's going to be more reliable? I think it's been I think the reason Toyota's doing so successful in the American market is because of the reliability of those vehicles, right? So you got to blow some motors to get them better to in the reliability department. And I think that even though TRD's had these motor issues, that it's only going to make those motors that come after that a little more reliable, a little bit better. So I don't know if blowing those motors as early as they have is a bad thing. Don't think I could put my link to my spreadsheet in chat, RIP. It's on Reddit at World of Outlaws 2. Hit me up on Facebook, Long Live the Chaz on Facebook for messaging as well, or Chaz Thompson on Facebook for messaging. And we can maybe do something about that. But anyways, that's pretty much all we had for the show today. Honda in sprint cars. I think he meant to say Honda. Let's see here. Gravel still lets bad dash draws defeat him. That's very true. Let's see some comments, or you can send a super chat. That would be nice. We haven't got a super chat since we've been going live here recently. But you could send a super chat very, very soon if you want to before we get out of here. Honda in sprint cars. Don't think it's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. But anyways, tonight, once again, Hobstadt, Indiana, going to be one of the best races you could find. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But once again, we are under the weather. But we do have our nice shirts on, our Junkyard Dog shirt, and our hats. LongLiveTheChaz.com. Get your new hats. These are flex fit, high quality embroidery. We got shirts on there, the professional gaslighter shirts. New songs out, everything of the sorts. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's an interesting situation. Tonight at Hobstadt, everything is going to change. Will it change for the good? Will it change for the bad? Somebody just asked me in the chat, who's your pick tonight? Gravel is the biggest diva in the sprint car world. Wow. Wow, maybe we ain't getting out of here. If we keep getting chats like that to respond to, we still got a cup of coffee here with the nice Long Live the Chaz coffee cup. It's a really nice one. 16 ounces. 16-ounce coffee cup. Who is your pick for tonight? I'd like to see an entry list for tonight, and I don't think we have one. But just like last year, ladies and gentlemen, you do have a scenario where the non-wing guys are going to be in town. Obviously, Brady Bacon was there last night getting some laps in. Brady Bacon, of course, won the Hobstadt race last year. It's really going to be interesting who the ringers for this event are. I can't really see anything. They got a picture up on the World of Outlaws Facebook page of, you got Chase Stockton there. Is Logan Seavey going to be there? If Logan Seavey's there, that would be a threat, I think. Like I said, I'm really high on Logan Seavey. Always something with gravel. Money, safety, bad tracks, on and on. Man. Like I said, I like gravel. I like Cody. If everything else, I like the team, the workers. Everything else of that team could go to hell as far as I'm concerned. That's just my opinion. But I feel bad for gravel and them on what's happening there. I think all of them are really good guys. But everyone else, no. That's just how it goes. But anyway. He has 1-0. Carson wins tonight, and the knock on gravel is his career has been that he is lazy and don't want to help build cars or help out around the shop. Ask JJR and CJB? Wow. Y'all are being mean to gravel. Y'all don't like gravel or something. What is going on? Fuck High Limits guy is here. We got a live entrant. Wow. Apparently, in Gravel's whole career, he is lazy and don't want to help build cars or help out around the shop. That's what they're saying now. These Buddy Kofoid fans are being mean. When Gravel does it to somebody, and he does it a lot, it's just racing. But when Gravel has it done to him, it's a different story. Wow. 2 weeks in a row? Yeah, good point. I like Gravel, but he can be a bitch about the draw. Did you happen to catch Larson couldn't qualify at Talladega because his team was bending the roof rail walking to pit road? Wow, same old cheater. That's funny. Gravel is a crybaby. Well, this is not supposed to be a fuck David Gravel show today. Why are y'all turning this? Y'all are hijacking my show into a David Gravel character assassination. This is insane. Y'all are mean. Gravel bitches about the dash draw because he is historically the most unlucky driver drawing numbers. No other reason. I mean, if you were unlucky at something, wouldn't you not like it? I mean, look at my luck with the women. Look at my luck with the women. I ain't had great luck with the women, so I mean, I kind of, I'm a little more critical of women than I guess the guy who's had the perfect marriage for 50 years or something. I mean, I think that's why Andrew Tate even exists. Super chat finally from Adam Outlaw. Vote for Chaz to be on Flow with Chase. Oh God. Vote for Chaz to be on Flow with Chase. It's already got a like. I don't know if I could do that. I feel like if I sign the dotted line with Flow, you know how like DMX talk or Cat Williams talks about these people signing their life away to the devil. Their soul, they sold their soul to the devil. I feel like if I sign the dotted line with Flow, it's the very same thing. Now remember, we decoded this last year. So everybody's talking about how high limit is the Live Golf. Of course, Live Golf coming out trying to go up against PGA, the traditional hierarchy of professional golfing. And then Flow's coming out with High Limit trying to outdo World of Outlaws, the traditional, leader of sprint car racing in America. So Live obviously is LIV in the golf world, but it sounds like Live, like LIVE. And then Flow sounds like Flow, FLOW, but it's actually, FLO. But Live, LIVE, backwards is evil, EVIL, and then Flow, FLOW, backwards is wolf. Guys, I Murder Red Rum this shit, but it's just real. And then obviously they got the Whiskey Myers song talking about release the wolf and all this. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm not doing this. They are, okay? I didn't spell all this shit. I didn't make these labels up. So I don't know. If I signed the dotted line with Flow, did I sell my soul to the devil? That's scary. You got to think about these things. Traditionally, you bought the apple. In today's world, you sign a contract. I'm just saying. But I do like Chase Rodman a lot. I do feel like he needs some help. I feel like the single announcer guy, if anybody catch Jeremy Elliott's show with Johnny Gibson, they talked about that. How even Johnny Gibson believes there should be 3 people in the commentary booth. For some reason, they don't have the funding. That makes no sense to me. But I would not be against trying to help Chase Rodman out. I think that a 2-party system with the announcing is the minimum of what you should do in the year 2024. And I really think Tony Laporta is just knocking it out of the park in the infield. They just need that other guy. Now, if they want to vote for Chaz to be on the Flow, y'all got to go message High Limit to get that to happen. That's the only way. I don't blame Kofoid. It seems like everyone who climbs in the 83 car drives like an asshole. That's unfair. I have the numbers to prove it. Craig Play said, I love the Chaz is back for a week, and the shit hits the fan immediately. This is the truth. I come back. I go to my first fucking race at I-55. See, I still censored there. First race. Sounds like a beat, but it's not there. This is how they do it. First race was at I-55, and that's where it all goes down with Kofoid and gravel. That's where it all starts off. And then here we follow up the next week, and then bam, right off the gate. This happens last night. I don't know why. The God says, well, the Chad needs some content now, so he's back. Let's give him something to talk about. This is how God works, guys. The real God, not karma, not all this other shit. Actual God, the thing that runs everything, that thing that they want you to not believe is real. Not the wolf, but the leader of the real pack. Chaz on Flow would be a beautiful riot. It would be a beautiful riot. It would be a comedy show 24/7. It would be like Me and Chase Robin would be like Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. I'm telling you. Chaz for Flo. Chaz on Flo would be a riot. You look healthier. Do you think Australia has higher quality food? 100%. There's a ton of ingredients in our food that are illegal in Australia. Australian food, Australian culture is way healthier than America could ever believe. If Travel's car was repairable, do you think he should have been parked regardless for running across? If Gravel's car was repairable, do you think he should be parked for running across the track? That was a question mark I saw. And honestly, I mean, it was red flag. It wasn't caution. There wasn't cars moving. I would not have parked him. I would not have parked him for the sake of the show. I don't think that's in the rule book, but eyes would be on him. Laporta is okay, but I feel you, the Chaz, could bring something we're missing, and you would talk to the little guy. I mean, I guess that was my Kermit the Frog. It's none of my business. Chase will get better. He has all the high-limit gimmicks working against him. Yes. If Gravel was actually faster than Kofoid, none of this would have happened. This is true. Chase and Chaz show. I do think I could help his YouTube. He needs some help there. I've tried to give him pointers. Gravel outqualifies Buddy by a long shot. DG2, 4.4 to BK83, 6.9. Look at Earnhardt with these like beautiful soliloquies to, branding. Like if I was Buddy Kofoid right now, I would have a hat that comes out next week that says BK83. Like that should be his new handle. This should be the handles on like, Twitter or something. BK83, DG2. These sound like brands. He just built them all. Like he did Earnhardt. Anyway. Should we do a call-in? Would anybody even call in? I don't know if you would. Well, we'll give y'all a chance to call in. How about that? We'll give y'all a chance. We'll see. Hold on. We'll see if y'all are willing to do it. Hold on. Yes, I know it just went white, but we're trying to activate the phone call line. That's what we're doing currently. Here we go. Bam. We're going to verify that everything is working correctly with the phone numbers. All right. Let's see who wants to give a call. And if it's Spike, we're hanging up in 10 minutes or less. There's the phone number on the screen, 515-298-7691. Let's hear what you have to say about the David Gravel Kofoid incident. The Chaz joining Chase Rodman in the booth. I don't know why. That's a thought. I guess people think Chase Rodman are doing unbelievably bad. But that's the number on the screen, 515-298-7691. If you want to call in and sound off on this situation. It would be really bad if Cody was to call in right now. Cody Jacobs, the crew chief, is the one guy who would bust some ass on anybody in the pitting area. I'm just saying. We'll keep looking at this until... hold on. Let's see. Do we need to pin the number? Do we need to pin the number here? What is it again? Because it is 298-7691. There we go. There's the phone number right there to call in. So 515-298-7691 to call in. Where did Clark disappear to? We are talking about the David Gravel Buddy Kofoid incident. If you have an opinion on this scenario, give it a call. It looks like maybe no one does. Oh, wait. This is wrong now. I did it wrong. My bad. Hold on. We're looking at your your chats. Hold on. Max McLaughlin was actually very impressive. I know some people are talking about that. Max McLaughlin was actually impressive. I was very much against Max McLaughlin just because he was in that ride for nepotism, I think. But he's actually proved me wrong. All right, there we go. It is in. We're pinning the message. Message is pinned with the number to call in. 515-298-7691. To give it a chat. Let's see if you can do it. Let's see here. Can Max McLaughlin get some props for his first late model win over a stout field? Chaz on flow would be great, but don't let them change you. We love the Chaz opinions. But that's the problem. I mean, the click over there in high limit, the real click. Now, the people at Flow, I have no issues with the people at Flow. But it does seem like the click at high limit is not a bunch of Chaz fans at all. Now, the click with the World of Outlaws is just as much of not a bunch of Chaz fans. So it's like, that's why, you know, say fuck you to each side. Because, well, I don't say fuck you to each side, but you got to stand up for yourself against these people. Truth don't like power, and power don't like truth. When you're sitting on here calling spades a spade, and you have been for as long as I have, and now there's two fucking decks to call a spade from. I mean, it's a hell of a scenario, guys. Which deck are you picking from with these spades? And that's the scenario we are in. But it looks like nobody's going to call in. That's fine. If nobody wants to call in, that's fine. We'll close the line out. We'll close the line out. It looks like, yeah, we have no missed calls. You're a free spirit, Chaz. Yeah, free. Don't want to be chained. Sometimes when you sign that contract, that dotted line, you are chained to the rhythm. Chained to the rhythm. Maybe we should make a song about this. And maybe that's what should happen. But anyway. Hold on, let's do this. This chat is driving me nuts. There we go. Can't stand the little heart emoji. David Gravel is having a Shooter McGavin moment. Oh, that's so... This is my tour happy. That's funny. That's funny right there, Dirt Muck friends. That is funny. A Shooter McGavin moment. Somebody said, be nice if Buddy or Gravel would call the hotline. I mean, that would be nice. I just don't know if they will. If he wants to, he can. I don't think he will. And they'd probably just motherfuck me at the end of the day. Oh, you shouldn't be talking about it, Chaz. How dare you? You know, this is how they get. This is how these... It's just like me talking about the stands at RPM, the power. We can't talk about it. Why can't we? Oh, because it's embarrassing for you. But it's a problem you have, and we can't talk about how to fix it. That's just how it goes sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it goes. We are dealing with the boss mentality of society. All right. Nobody's calling in. That's fine. I guess we'll end it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Earnhardt says, shout out for Gio having 12 top 10s this year, too. I believe he just passed. No, I don't think he has 12. Does he have 12? No way. Hold on. Oh, 12 top 10s. I thought you were saying top 5s. Which does Donnie Schatz has 13. Gio has 13. So you might be talking about prior to last night. Which that is more than David Gravel now. But it's going to be interesting here tonight to see how things shake out at Tri-State. Once again, we'll see if we got the Tri-State up here. This is the schedule for tonight, and you're going to want to pay attention to it. You're going to want to pay attention to it. This is the show. Tri-State, Hobstadt, World of Outlaws. hot laps at 6:30 Central Time. This is the show tonight. You're going to want to pay attention to it. The tight quarter mile, the bull ring battle here tonight at Tri-State. Watch live on Dirt Vision. Timing and results on my race pass. We'll see what happens. It is going to be interesting. And once again, the Trone Motorsports 39 of Callum Williamson debuting tonight at Lincoln for that 20,000 Weldon Stern Memorial. That is going to be on Flow. And it is 5:15 a.m. WA time when that's happening. So 5:15 p.m. When that's going to be happening on Flow. So Eastern and Central times, you may be able to watch both of these events relatively equally. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Definitely going to be interesting. Let's see here. What's the YouTube chat saying? This YouTube chat just keeps going. Just keeps going. Be sure to subscribe regardless, ladies and gentlemen. Gravel will apologize to Kofoid after seeing the replay from a fan of Gravel. I really don't think that's going to happen, Joe C. I don't know if you're from Kid Rock. Call me Joe C. From Calixto. I don't know what they're talking about there, but I really don't think Gravel is going to apologize to Kofoid. I don't think it. Does Logan not have a crew chief? I don't know. Joe C. Gravel won't. He thinks he's too good for that. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what race are you most interested in tonight, Chaz? I am interested in, Lincoln's, I'm tied into the Callum Williamson deal a little bit, helping that whole deal, so it's almost like watching the baby versus watching the grown fight. I'm interested in both. I'm hoping that the timing is right. Of course, late models with Larson at Talladega, I didn't get to watch much of that last night. There's a lot to watch this evening. And Salida high limit's going to be probably fourth on the list for me. Third or fourth, tied with the late models. A tie for first is Tri-State and Lincoln, but Tri-State's going to be where the top echelon sprint car drivers are. And the drama now, the intrigue, this thing that makes people watch stuff that everyone just hates to talk about because they're scared of losing a sponsor or something, or not being sponsored like me. I'm the one guy saying this stuff, and I get exited out and rejected. So I don't get no corporate sponsor elitist liking me because it's their baby. They pay for it. It's privateered motorsports. So a lot of egos involved. But if you want to support the shows going on here, there are links in the description to PayPal and Venmo directly support. You can also join the memberships here on the channel. That the fans, technically, I did watch that Super BASCS race last night. It was pretty good. But the fans, y'all people watching this, supporting it, is the support line. You know, I'm not the Democrat or Republican. I don't get a super PAC support. So I'm sitting here in the middle. But regardless, I think that's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe above all, watch above all, share above all. Get it out there. Comment with what you think. And we will see how everything plays out tonight. Live on Dirt Vision, on Flow, all the racing action that's going to be happening this evening. But thanks for tuning in once again. And until next time, you know, have a beer, have a coffee, or like me, just blow your nose. Or for some people saying David Gravel, grab a tissue. See you later, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Kid Joseph, it is 420. Or cleanse yourself. You know, cleanse yourself with a plant. Or that. That's fine. It's fine. You know, it's definitely not a poison like alcohol. 420. Go celebrate. Funny enough, it is Hobstadt. This is where Justin Peck almost beat Sheldon a few years ago. And then, anyways. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, happy 420. Bye.
We can ride high, we can ride low, we can ride anywhere we need to go. as long as we make the show. We can be the best, or we can be